If you're new to balance sheet reconciliations or just want to refresh your knowledge, this is the right video for you. I'll walk you through the four-step process of preparing balance sheet reconciliations. We'll start with a relatively easy balance sheet reconciliation in this video, meaning there's a prior balance sheet reconciliation available, there's a subledger report, and there are no variances between the subledger and the GL. Don't worry if this sounds a little confusing. We'll work through it step by step. Like most things in accounting, there is a process to reconciling balance sheet accounts. The first step is to obtain reports from your accounting system, which are the general ledger account detail, the trial balance, the subledger report, and the prior month balance sheet reconciliation. In a later video, I'll continue with examples of when the subledger report is not available and you have to create the subledger report on your own by ticking and tying the debits and credits in the GL account. The second step in the process of preparing a balance sheet account reconciliation is the process of reconciling the GL account to the subledger. The third step is the process of preparing the account reconciliation, which includes the cover page, the GL detail, and the subledger. Finally, in step 4, you're reviewing the reconciliation one more time and signing off on it. Subsequently, the reviewers will also review and sign off on the reconciliation. That level of sign-off can depend on how material the account is to the overall financial statements. After you've prepared and signed off on the reconciliation, you would also sign off on the account reconciliation tracker that you've completed the reconciliation. The reviewers will do the same once they complete their review and approval. In some instances, additional checklists like internal control or SOX control checklists may need to be signed off on. Now that you know what the high-level process is, let's talk about the process step by step, beginning with step 1. The first report that is needed to prepare the balance sheet account reconciliation is the general ledger for the balance sheet account you're reconciling. You'd obtain that GL report from the company's accounting system. Ask someone on your team for the query or report you have to run to get the general ledger report for this account if you're not quite sure where to find it. The GL report should show the balance at the beginning of the month, activity for the month, which could be just a few debits or credits, but can also include hundreds or even thousands of transactions, and the ending balance. In QuickBooks, click on Accountant Tools, click on Reports, and then scroll down until you get to the section called For My Accountant. That's where you'll find the General Ledger report. Here's a general ledger report for the QuickBooks sample company, Craig's Design and Landscaping Services for the month of August for the accounts receivable AR general ledger account. We'll use that account for our sample account reconciliation. The report shows a beginning balance of $618, debits of $2,207.80, and credits of $651.80, and the ending balance of $2,174. How do we know that we got the correct general ledger report and balance? We'll double check the balance on the trial balance report for the accounts receivable account. But before we do that, let me mention that you can also use the QuickBooks transaction detail report and filter for the account. Or you can run the QuickBooks balance sheet report and drill down on the specific account balance for the detailed GL report. So there are a few different ways to obtain the general ledger report. This is the trial balance report for Craig's Design and Landscaping Services as of August 31st. It also shows $2,174 for the accounts receivable AR account. So now we can feel pretty good about having the right general ledger report because that report has the same ending balance that we see here on the trial balance report. And we can now move on to getting the rest of our reports that are needed to prepare the account reconciliation for the accounts receivable AR account. Next, we'll obtain the subledger report. What is a subledger report? It's a system report that keeps track of all the debits and credits in an account, ticks and ties them against each other, for instance, a customer payment to a customer invoice, and then prepares a report that shows what debits or credits are still open. Most systems have accounts receivable and accounts payable subledger reports. And here we have the subledger report for the accounts receivable account called the AR Aging Report for Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. It's called an aging report because it lists all unpaid customer invoices by age, meaning the number of days past the due date of the invoice. This AR aging report shows that a total of $2,174 is due from customers, and 618 are between 1 and 30 days past the due date of the invoice. You can customize the aging report so that it shows you different aging categories than you see on this report, for instance, in 15-day increments, or you can add additional fields to it, such as an invoice date and invoice number. This report is then used by the accountant to reach out to the customers to find out why an invoice has not yet been paid. Some accountants even proactively reach out to the customer before the due date to confirm that the customer has all necessary invoice information to pay the invoice by the due date. In addition to collecting on past due customer invoices, the accountant should also communicate internally that a customer is past due, so that no additional goods or services are provided until the customer pays the past due invoices. For instance, in our example, I'd probably want to know that Freeman Sporting Goods is sending a payment for the $387 before processing any further orders from this customer. Ideally, you would also have the prior month balance sheet reconciliation for the balance sheet account that you're reconciling. Typically, the accounting team maintains a separate folder that contains the balance sheet reconciliations for each month. This is what the prior balance sheet account reconciliation for the accounts receivable account looks like for Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. The reconciliation consists of a cover page that shows at the top of the header information, such as the title, account name, and the date, followed by the sign-off by the preparers and reviewers. Next is the account purpose. For this account, it states the accounts receivable AR account captures all of the trade receivables that the company billed, offset by all customer payments for these trade receivables. The balance in this account represents the outstanding unpaid trade receivables. Any required reserve for aged receivables is recorded in the allowance for bad debt account. Next, we can see the general ledger balance of $618. Next to it, we see the reference to tab A, which means that tab A of the workbook has the details for the general ledger. Tab A shows us the general ledger detail activity, including the ending balance of $618. We can see that this must be a new company because there is no beginning balance, and the ending balance consists of the 3 debits in this account. The next line on the cover page is the subledger detail. The subledger in this case, is the system report for the accounts receivable account. So that makes this recon pretty easy because the accounting system provides you with the subledger report you need. Ideally, the AR aging report should agree with the balance of $618, which you can see it does on tab B of the Recon workbook. There are situations when the AR aging does not agree with the GL balance. Typically, it means that someone posted a journal entry to the ARGL account but did not tag a customer account. Most accounting systems do not allow such journal entries, but some do. So if that's the case for your accounts receivable account, that your GL balance does not equal the AR aging, you'll have to look through the GL to find the variance. That brings us to step 2 of the 4-step process, which is reconcile the account. That means that you compare the ending GL balance from the GL detail report to the grand total of the AR aging subledger report. In our example, the GL report for Craig's Design and Landscaping Services shows an ending balance of $2,174 as of August 31st. The AR subledger report shows a total of $2,174 as of August 31st. So both reports agree, and that provides us with a certain comfort level that the accounts receivable amount of $2,174 on the balance sheet is supported by evidence. And if someone asks you what does the balance in this account consist of, you can say the balance of $2,174 consists of current receivables of $1,556, as well as past due receivables for Freeman Sporting Goods of $387, Cookies by Kathy of $75, and Red Rock Diner of $156 for a total of $618 past due receivables. Step 3 now consists of preparing the reconciliation by updating the cover page for the date in the header section, the general ledger balance, and the subledger balance. Tab A is updated by copying and pasting the new general ledger detail, and Tab B is updated with the new AR aging summary report for August. Be sure to double check that there is no difference between the GL and the subledger. Enter any notes if applicable. For instance, you could note that the Freeman customer account has been placed on hold and no further orders will be processed until payment is received. The final step is to look over the details of the reconciliation one more time and then sign off on it at the top of the reconciliation cover page. As I mentioned, add any notes that will help the reviewer to understand the reconciliation, especially if you've done any research on any of the items in your reconciliation or any follow-up. Don't keep it to yourself. Add that information in the notes section. Both the preparer and the reviewers need to sign off. The number of reviewers depends on your sign-off policy. It's not uncommon for complex and very material accounts to be signed off by multiple reviewers or for the accounting team to update other teams about the reconciliation, especially if the account involves complicated estimates, calculations, and assumptions. Many companies also have internal and SOX control checklists that need to be updated in addition to updating the balance sheet reconciliation tracker. I have a separate video about the importance of the balance sheet reconciliation tracker and why it is crucial to maintain one for a successful month close. That's it for this step-by-step video on preparing a relatively easy account reconciliation. Look for a future video on preparing more complex balance sheet account reconciliations.